Happy Halloween. So the kiddos are going to be out trick-or-treating, and you want to have something warm when they come in the door before they dive into that candy, or something maybe in their stomachs before they head out trick-or-treating. I've got the perfect idea: homemade tomato basil soup, which I've never met a kid that didn't like this. It's just jazzed up tomato soup, and then jack-o'-lantern quesadillas for dipping. So I'm going to start with the soup, and I'm going to start heating some cream. The recipe calls for 3½ cups of heavy cream. We love, love, love our Lamers heavy cream. Can you see how thick that is? It's crazy thick. You can certainly cut back on this if you want. It's got a lot of cream in it, and that's what makes it so special and wonderful. But like I say, you could do half milk and half cream. It's still going to taste really, really nice. Okay, so we'll heat that up. And then you either want 2 of the big 28-ounce cans of fire roasted tomatoes or 4 of the little guys. The fire roasted just adds a lot more flavor. If you can't find those, you could just use regular diced tomatoes. So we're using 4 of the ounces on these cans keep changing. 14.5 used to be 15-ounce cans of tomatoes. So we'll get those in there along with our heavy cream, and we're going to let that heat together before we start adding the rest of the stuff. Oh, this is so fun. Okay, so I mentioned Halloween, and that I can't believe it's Halloween already, and next is Thanksgiving. But then my producer Abby reminded me, wait, Thanksgiving, you got to tell everybody. Yep, it is back. It is something we do every year. We're super excited about it, and it starts on Monday. We're putting together the ultimate Thanksgiving dinner menu, and we need your help. You guys get to submit your recipes and then come on the show and cook with me and win some great prizes. So on Monday, we are starting to accept your recipes. We'll give you more details, but this weekend, you get busy. So our categories are the best main course. Maybe you do the best Thanksgiving turkey ever. You grill it, you smoke the turkey, you stuff it. Maybe you do something different than turkey for Thanksgiving. Maybe you do Cornish game hens, or a great ham, or maybe even lasagna. So we want to know about your best main course recipes, your best side dish recipes. Maybe you do more than just that green bean casserole, and you're the one in charge of making that famous side dish every year: killer mashed potatoes, unusual stuffings, just different vegetable casseroles, great salads, soups. We're also looking for the ultimate appetizers. That's one of the categories. Desserts is another one, and then stuffing. So those are the categories. We'll put them on our website, and we'll have more details for you on Monday. But just start thinking about it and go through those recipes and get them to us as soon as you can. It's always so much fun. And then we put the full menu online so you can download it and wow everybody with your Thanksgiving dinner. I always look forward to it every year because we get some seriously good recipes, and it's just great fun. Okay, so again, 3½ cups of heavy cream, or you could do half milk, half cream, along with our fire roasted tomatoes. I'm cranking up the heat on that, and then I'm going to start adding the rest of the ingredients. So while that's heating, I'm going to go ahead and make jack-o'-lantern quesadillas. And these are so fun. We just took some tortillas, flour tortillas, because that's what we happen to have. And basically, we cut out little jack-o'-lantern faces. Just really easy, no-brainer stuff. So the first tortilla basically is flat. We did a little stem on it, and then the second tortilla, we've got the eyes and the face. So have fun with it. You can make different sizes if you want. It's all going to be good. And then we take some cheese and throw some cheese on the bottom quesadilla. We're using cheddar cheese, but if you like a little heat, you could do pepper jack cheese. You could do Mexican blend cheese, but we want the cheese to melt so that you're going to see the orange, in this case, through the eyes. They also make some like sun-dried tomato quesadillas, so they would be a little bit more orange red in color if you wanted to do that, and then use a white cheese. We do a lot of quesadillas at our house. It's a great way to use leftovers. It seems like we've always got a little bit of chicken breast in there, half of a red or green pepper, some onion, and then you keep flour tortillas. I've always got some sort of salsa, sour cream on hand, and my kids really like quesadillas. Just don't get much easier than this. I'm not going to fry these because, because of the faces, but I do want to get them nice and toasty and brown, so I am going to melt a little bit of butter. And I'm going to broil these. You can bake or broil these, but I like the tortilla to get a little bit crispy, just like you would fry them. So I'm going to throw the broiler on. How's our soup doing over here? Just want that to simmer. Heat that cream. That's one of the reasons I love this soup so much, is that it is super quick to throw together. People can't believe how easy this tomato basil soup is, and it tastes like something you find out at a restaurant. Tomato basil soup is very much on trend. It's just yummy, and this is literally a dump and go kind of recipe. So I'm brushing the top of the tortilla with a little bit of butter, and that's going to get it nice and golden, like we fried it. Okay. Boy, the flies are out big time, and they have come to hang out in our studio. I think they knew the cold was coming, and they needed to get in and warm up real quick, so they are everywhere. All right, so brushed our tortillas with a little bit of butter, and I'm going to get them under the broiler, and do not let me forget that they are in there. That's the one thing when you broil, things tend to get away from you. We want those tortillas nice and golden. We don't want them overcooked. Okay, so while this is heating, we're going to use our immersion blender, which I happen to love. If you don't have one of these, you can let this mixture cool and put it in a blender or a food processor. But that's sometimes a hassle. Well, it's always a hassle because you're making a soup and you don't really want to let it cool. But if you put hot liquids into a blender, you risk the exploding blender issue. And if you've ever had that happen to you, it is not a fun thing. And it can actually be dangerous. When I was first making lots of soups and the kids were really little, I made pea soup. And I had an all-white kitchen. So I was pureeing the pea soup in a blender, and let's just say the kitchen was all green when we were done. So I learned the hard way that you really need to cool things before you puree them in a blender. Or then basically I put one of these immersion blenders on my Christmas list, so I don't really have to deal with that anymore. Thank goodness. All right, now we're going to dump in some dried basil, 1/4 cup. And I get people all the time who say, 1/4 cup of dried basil? That seems like a lot. Dried basil is one of those herbs that's not super strong. And this is a big batch of soup, so that is right. 1/4 cup of dried basil. Now you could certainly back off on that and use a little bit less, but I really like that flavor. We're doing tomato basil soup. I want it to taste like it. Couple tablespoons of sugar, a little bit of salt and pepper, see how this is getting nice and smooth. And if you like a few chunks of tomato in there, you can actually leave them in there too. That's just fine. And when we come back, I'll finish up the soup and we'll show you these really cute jack-o'-lantern quesadillas.